I'm Matt Delaney from the Great Outdoor Gym Company, talking about my greatest inspiration for real business on Orange.
Former PE teacher Matt Delaney set up the Great Outdoor Gym Company in 2007 with co-founder Georgie Tarrant, selling good quality, safe exercise equipment to local councils, schools and colleges. Together they pioneered the idea of the free outdoor gym. Today their 6 million turnover business has created nearly 100 outdoor gym sites across the country, and the pair are working on distributor deals in Dubai, Holland, Spain, Malta and Italy. We asked Matt about his greatest inspiration. Matt, thanks for joining us today. Now, you started out your career as a PE teacher, so what made you set up the Great Outdoor Gym Company in 2007?
Well, I'd always loved doing sport. I'd always had a passion for sport and for other people to be able to have the same opportunities in sport as I did. It was always very good to me, sport, if you like. So, but I didn't want to be a PE teacher forever. And, you know, there's only so many sort of cold mornings you can do and running around the fields that you can do in your lifetime. So I decided to try and do something else. I actually moved into Sport England. I worked for Sport England for a while. And I suddenly realised that people were not being as active as they could be. So I moved from Sport England. And I soon realised that people weren't accessing indoor gyms. They couldn't afford to use indoor gyms. Either cost was a problem for them, or they didn't have an indoor gym sort of on their doorstep. So we thought, right, what can we do to make going to the gym free and accessible? We love being outside. I mean, I think maybe my days from being a PE teacher were still with me. And we thought, right, but let's take an indoor gym concept and move it outside. And we set up the Great Outdoor Gym Company.
So you took the plunge and set up your own business. Who did you turn to for advice along the way? Do you come from a family of entrepreneurs?
I come from a family of hard workers, I'd say, and it was really instilled into me at a very sort of young age, the importance of working hard, and the importance of sticking at something, and you know, eventually you're going to get there. But no, interestingly enough, we didn't really turn to that many other people. You know, when you're setting up something that is absolutely new, where'd you go for advice? So in some respects, it was a bit of trial and error. And I think what we did is that we worked on our concept, we put it out there, we were brave in many respects. And we worked it out as we went along. And I think actually sometimes that's the best way, because yeah, you can get business advice from people, you can read books, etc. But actually doing it and taking the plunge and really making it work, that's the experience that you need. And looking back now, what were the biggest challenges that you came up against, or the biggest hurdles? Well, getting people to buy into a concept. I mean, there was nothing for us to point to, really. We couldn't say, oh, you know, there's that outdoor gym down the road, go and have a look at it and see what you think. So we were showing people visuals, we were mocking up different ideas for people, 3D renders, etc., and trying to sell the concept into local councils. Because essentially how it works is that a local council will buy the gym, and it's free to the end user, so the local community gets to use the gym for free. They put it into their park. So it was a massive barrier trying to get people to buy into the concept, to try and part with, you know, their money for a concept. You know, it was very, very difficult. So we tried to tap into some very forward-thinking councils and boroughs. And interestingly, it was Strathclyde Police up in Scotland that first kind of latched onto this idea that maybe an outdoor gym, you know, is a good thing for their area. And what they did is that they took this, what can only be regarded as a battleground between two rival gangs, really, up in a fairly rough end of Glasgow. And we put an outdoor gym there. But we didn't just plonk it there. We worked with the police and we worked with the local community, so they felt a real sense of ownership for it. And we must have worked with them for months and months on end. I mean, don't forget, this is our first sale. It's very important to a business. And we worked very closely with them. And we put this gym in there. And I must admit, we put it in with our fingers crossed, because you don't know, is it going to be trashed? Is it going to be, you know, pulled down, burnt down, etc. And we did everything we can to try and get around that. And it was fantastic. It was such a success. We launched it nearly 2 years ago now. And probably 500 or 600 people came out from the local community to the opening. it's still being used today, hasn't been vandalised, hasn't been trashed. The Strathclyde Police use it as a focal point to do other activities around, so they do five-a-side football and things like that. And we've heard from them that crime in that local area is reduced by 8% since the gym went in, so it's been a massive success.
Yeah.